So, how long is too long for a road trip?
We definitely probably tap out at about 6.5 hours.
Welcome to the Strong
really
Like Minded
precise.
podcast with Cherie and Jada. We're doing your best. Doesn't mean
It
it
is
is perfect.
It's been tested and true. That's the best we can do.
Yeah, the longest we've gone since having Levi is about 8 hours, and I will not do that again.
We have done 13 to Disney World
Mm-hmm.
twice. Both with just two girls.
Mm-hmm.
One was a family caravan, which not a fan.
Yeah.
And the second, we left overnight. We left at like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. We'll drive through the night. And, your kids get to sleep in the car. Friendly reminder, you don't.
Yeah.
You stay up. We have a rule that passenger does not fall asleep. You stay up and you support the driver.
Mm-hmm.
We have our reasoning behind that logic. So I'm sure we've both dozed off at some point, but it's not on purpose. We really try and stay up for each other. So imagine being up through the night for over 24 hours, and then your kids have just slept 90% of the trip, and they're like, so we're going to the parks? And you're just like, no, I don't want to.
I feel like I'm dying. So prior to having Levi, we have driven to Disney World, and that's about the long. So that's, given on how many times you stop, it's somewhere between 11 and a half to 13 hours, I would say. And it's not fun. I look at my parents who drove us to Disney World so often. Like, we went a lot as kids, and we had 4 children. That's a lot of bladders to manage. That's a lot of just boredness to manage. I mean, we're really at this point, I feel like flying maybe isn't as expensive as it used to be.
I think the value is just there. You justify it. I don't know if it's priced at a value situation, but you're just like, sanity or money.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And you're just like, well,
I can't have both.
You can't have both. You can't have both. And admittedly, with one child, it is a lot easier to fly than with multiple children. So I recognize that, the more children you add, the more it costs, and the more, that could literally double the cost of your vacation.
It has. And so that has kind of been a thing that we'll always be like, okay, well, we can go here.
Mm-hmm.
If we fly with everybody, this is how much this will cost. If we drive, this is how much this will cost. And then if we can't pay to fly everybody and it's past that 6.5 hours, we're like, well, we're just not going.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll revisit this at another time.
Road trips, and Levi gets a little bit car sick. Like, I would say he does okay, and he does better now that we've flipped his car seat front facing. But still, after about 4.5 hours, it starts to get questionable on if he's going to make it without getting sick. Those longer ones really, really just are not great for him.
We don't have that.
Yeah.
I'm thankful. Being pregnant and being in the car was the closest I've gotten. I couldn't even make it to the beach. It was, we made it, but it was tough when I was pregnant with Dylan.
Yeah.
But the girls are just not accustomed to being in the car for that long. And, I have a very big mom vehicle, so everybody has their space. Like, anything I've learned from my childhood and road trips, I've tried to avoid.
Yeah.
As a parent, we don't have that one bench seat where you got 3 kids sitting on there. Mom, she's touching me.
Yeah. We
don't have that unless somebody is just very intentional in trying to into the space.
Yeah.
But it's not enjoyable because it's not so much the going. Mm-hmm. It's when you're ready to get home that I find road trips to be like, we're all hyped up to get there.
Yeah.
We're all excited.
Yeah.
But then when you're ready to go home,
you're tired, you're maybe sunburnt, You are just, you've hit that point where you're not excited to go home typically.
I'm excited to go home, but I want to be there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to stop anywhere.
Yeah.
Please hold it as best you can. And I know you can't.
Yeah.
And one of the things we work on, at least I do, is plan out the best place to stop.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than making a stop and you see like the bathroom sign or like the restaurant sign, and it's about 5 miles from that interstate exit.
My God.
That is the worst. So now I literally will map those things out and try and find something as close to the interstate as possible.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Jared and I have been together so long that I remember the road trips before kids that we've made where it wasn't Google Maps on your phone. It was MapQuest. And somebody had to be responsible for reading the directions until you left turn, right turn.
Right.
And, and they were that Google voice to you. And I don't miss that.
I do not miss that, because if you missed one turn, you now didn't have directions you better hope you get off on the interstate and then just get right, right back on to your exit, because if you missed it.
It's no rerouting you.
No,
okay.
No, MapQuest, it didn't know how to reroute you on that paper. So
no,
that was rough. I'm very glad that we are through that. And even in our jobs, like I literally wonder how we made it without GPS, because I don't have a good sense of direction. Even trips that we've taken over and over again, I MapQuest or I say MapQuest, Google Maps. Let me get with the times. I Google Map everything, everywhere we go. The only somewhat exception, and really I'm still gonna Google Map it from point at home to the beach, is Orange Beach, because we've spent a lot of time there. So once I'm there, I know where everything is, and I don't need to just Google Map everything. But otherwise, getting from point A to point B, I am 100% going to Google Map that.
I kind of Google Map just for time management sometimes. Even if I know the route, I want to know what time I should be home or what time we're going to get wherever. So it's more of a time management kind of thing. Because same with Orange Beach. That is, in pre-pandemic and all that, was definitely a regular yearly, if not multiple times a year, because it was literally that 4 hours felt like nothing, and I'm just comfortable. And that was something that our kids just knew that this was a definite, we were going to the beach. It's just an active when in the year we were planning to go to the beach.
It's such a family friendly beach too, that I love Orange Beach. As much as I love the water, when you get to Destin, it's a little clearer, a little bluer. Orange Beach, it's where it's at for me.
It's homey.
It's homey. It is. It's really homey. So what are some of your road trip essentials when you do get on the road and you're like, all right, we're heading here? What are some of your go-to things that you're like, we got to have this?
So naturally, it's snacks.
Oh yeah.
Because you get in the car and you're immediately hungry. Just makes sense. You could have just had breakfast. You could have just had lunch, which that's the smart thing. You plan your trip right after a meal so you can make it longer.
Yeah. Of course, you say that, and with littles, then they have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's true. And I sound like my mom these days, and honestly, it's like, hey, please try. If you don't, please try before you go. Now, we've not done a road trip. No, we did one last year. And when we did that road trip, it was just to Houston.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. It was to Beaumont. So it was right before you get to Houston. And so, but we got stuck in a ton of traffic. So that's one thing that sometimes is hard to kind of plan for. But we made sure they had snacks. The other thing that now I've gotten big on, please pack a blanket and a pillow if we're going to be in there for a long time, so you can get nice, cozy, comfy. Now, that's not for the front passengers, but the kids in the back, your blanket and your pillow. Listen, iPads, they save lives. iPads, gaming devices.
They definitely save your nerves.
But with headphones, please.
Yes.
I love you, but I don't want to hear I need to hear my music, and if it is us as a family going, usually Jared and I are spending that time like we're talking, because like you're stuck in a car together for hours. So we get to talk and listen to music that we want to. I don't want to listen to the Descendants soundtrack all the time.
Right.
I don't
the Bluey theme song.
None of that. I don't want to listen to any of that. Or, my car has a DVD player. I don't want to listen to your movie the whole ride to somewhere.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Snacks, that's the king, right? The king of the road trip. I gotta have some beef jerky. It is not a road trip without beef jerky for me. And then, chips, just, I don't know why, you just crave that kind of stuff on a road trip. I've got to have my water cup, 100%. I need a water cup. Got to have sunglasses. Being a lifeguard in high school ruined me to I cannot function without sunglasses when I'm outside. It's just like a must. And then outside, we have a lot of the same, tablets, all that kind of stuff. Baby wipes, though. Lord have mercy. Tell me how we survived before having children and carrying baby wipes everywhere. I don't think I'm ever going back.
In 15 years stretch and a 6-year stretch between baby 2 and baby number 3, we'll continue to buy baby wipes.
Yeah.
They're
perfect for almost anything.
Right. Makeup.
Yep. You got to wipe your hands. You got Cheeto hands, whatever. Butts, yeah. I mean, if you got car sick, there's a wipe for that.
Yeah, exactly.
So we just don't travel without wipes. Like a couple of packs of wipes, because it's just, you're gonna need it for something. Like
absolutely
at some point. Something we don't have, but that I've been considering getting when we go to the beach later this summer, is like the lap desk for the kids, so that it's like fits over the car seat. And it like attaches so that he's, he could color or do whatever.
We have that.
Do you recommend?
Absolutely, because you can give them like their coloring books and their activities. Now, how long does that keep them entertained?
Depends.
Probably till you make it to the interstate. However, it is convenient for like if they're eating in the car, if you're stopping at a fast food place, but you want to keep going to the hotel or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That like they can eat. They have a solid surface, but they can color. There's usually a spot for their tablet.
Yeah.
Or whatever they need to sit up. But I've bought them a couple of times just because you can't put them in the washing machine.
Yeah.
And like there's some things that you can't hand wipe. You can't hand wipe it. Like you gotta,
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But that is worth the purchase.
Okay.
Another one of those young kid things is a travel potty.
Yeah.
Like I've kept it since potty training, but a mom taught me this when I was potty training Peyton. And for each kid, you've gotten your own. There's one in each car. Sometimes listen, when I was growing up, they pull over to the side of the road and people are going to be like, oh my God, no. I mean, like true story, open the door to kind of like block you, and it was the side of the road. I mean, this was, decades ago.
Yeah.
However, that's how it works. Travel potties weren't necessarily a thing.
Yeah.
Now they are. So here we are.
I think having a boy, it's not as necessary now that he's older. But I have heard that echoed so many times that parents just have the travel potty and it's always in the car. One of Levi's little school friends, she's like, oh yeah, I have a little travel urinal. I'm like, they make that?
There's something for everybody.
There is something for everybody, apparently. But yeah, now that he's a little older, if it's just like, can you hold it? And I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like we're just phasing out of this, that when we traveled, I would just put him in a pull-up so that if he couldn't hold it, it was an easy cleanup,
Yeah.
Because you got to think, when you're on a road trip and you're traveling, there might be 10 minutes before that next interstate exit with a bathroom,
right.
Because they don't all have bathrooms. Let's be real.
Yeah. Or you don't want to stop at all.
Yeah.
Bathrooms.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things where you're like, all right, like, can we make it? And now Levi can hold it pretty well. So I'm not that, we probably won't do that this year, but up until this point, yeah, we just did a pull-up, and I'm like, look, if you can't make it, I brought an extra change of clothes. I have an extra pull-up that will stop, and we kind of preemptively stop for potty breaks. We, kind of sort of plan them out. Like if we're headed to the beach, we usually stop in Slidell, when you're getting close to the Louisiana-Mississippi border. And then we might stop in Gulfport, and then hopefully you might be able to make it to your hotel, wherever you're going, your condo. Hopefully, but.
So last year wasn't bad. So now between here and Orange Beach, there's Buc-ee's.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I try and pick places that historically have clean bathrooms.
Yeah.
So that's how I will plan it. So when my brother lived in Huntsville, where we would stop in Mississippi would be right before you got to the border, and they had a Chick-fil-A. Well, you think Chick-fil-A, you're like,
clean bathroom.
You think anyway.
Yeah.
So we would stop there, or they also have like a Sam's, like foolproof, because then another cost-effective trick people for road trips is, instead of stopping somewhere, if we go into Sam's, we get a whole pizza.
Yep.
And we pass it out. Like, where are you going to stop and get fast food for a family for $10?
I was about to say, isn't there pizzas like $8.98 or something like that?
I don't care what has inflated, but not the price of pizza at Sam's or Costco.
Yeah.
So we'd stop and do that, because that is our max travel. That's the 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
And so we'd stop there. Everybody would go to the bathroom. We'd either stop at Chick-fil-A or we'd go to Sam's. We get the pizza. Everybody got a plate, pass it out.
Yep.
Yep. All the good things. And then, keep going. We would try and keep stops to a minimum so that it didn't really hurt the ETA.
You add 2 bathroom breaks. I mean, it's a minimum of 15 minutes. Minimum.
Yeah.
By the time you get off the interstate, get where you're going, get out of the car, go in, use the bathroom, wash the hands, get ready to get back in the bathroom, back in the car.
Depending on what you ate, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you might have to go back to the bathroom, I suppose. But, and then get back in the car to get back on the interstate. I mean, 15 minutes is being that's bare minimum.
Yeah.
It's really probably more than that. So you had 2 of those, you're adding 30 to 45 minutes to your overall commute, which just gets to the point you're like, okay, well, I mean, what was supposed to be a 3.5 hour is now, 4, almost, pushing 5.
Right. So, and the goal too is always to try and travel in a daylight time to where we're making it to a new destination, to the hotel before it gets dark.
Yeah.
Because nothing worse than getting somewhere and you're like trying to get inside, and that's when your kids want to walk a little bit slower.
Yep.
So one of the other things that we do different from flying from road trips is we have suitcases that we use when we go on flights, but we do like the duffel bags. It's just easier to conserve space in the vehicle. They're more squishy, like bean bags.
Yep.
And so we have these gigantic duffel bags that have wheels, and we do that and we pack everybody's stuff. I do the Ziploc bag thing because the girls have one giant duffel bag. Jared and I have one giant duffel bag. And so I separate everybody's stuff out in that. So it's like, here, you get to the hotel, this is your stuff.
Yep.
Take it, but that has been the best thing, because trying to stuff snacks, blankets, pillows in suitcases in a car will make any big car feel small.
Yeah.
And I remember the days of having to pack strollers with me, pack and plays.
Oh, yeah.
And you get really resourceful with how you pack stuff, or you're just like, okay, what are we willing to sacrifice here?
Yep.
Because all of this stuff cannot come.
We normally travel in Dustin's truck, and Dustin has a bed cover.
Okay.
I think we travel in his car because he typically drives. And so I would probably rather travel in my car. I have a sunroof. I have, I feel like it's a little, we could probably fit a little bit more because, I have a huge back trunk, but I mean, it's neither here nor there. So we normally take his vehicle and everything just gets piled in the back because of the bed cover. It doesn't really, nothing ever gets wet. But yeah, when we road trip, it's so crazy because we pack fairly resourceful whenever we fly. It seems like when we go to the beach, that's usually when we are taking road trips. We don't really road trip a whole lot of other places. We typically fly other places, mostly because we're going really far. If we're, if I'm going to fly somewhere, I'm going to make it worth my while. I'm flying somewhere good. And so it's like, I'm not going to fly to, Orange Beach or whatever, but
you probably have a layover.
You probably would, and it wouldn't even save you any time by the time it's all said and done. We're flying places like we're going to California, we're going to Orlando, or somewhere like that. But yeah, it's one of those things that when we're driving, we don't really pack efficiently at all. We're going to bring the beach wagon, and we're going to bring the beach ice chest, and we might bring a real ice chest because we're
your food items
and stuff. And if we're there, we may as well, I'm going to just pack the laundry detergent stuff. And if you've got, we typically stay in condos, so we have a washer dryer. And I feel like it's last year stressed me out because it's like we felt like we had so much stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, how do we fly? Because we literally don't fly with any of this stuff. And we're really getting to the point where we almost don't have to fly with a stroller.
I don't know if we need one anymore, but I think we'll probably still have something just in case.
Mm-hmm.
But driving, I'm packing paper towels, I'm packing dishwasher, whatever it doesn't make sense to have to buy.
Yeah.
Especially since these things don't come in travel packs.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And I'd like to conserve money spent at the destination on more fun necessities or things that we want than necessities.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest with you. The condo we talk a lot about potty right now, but it's toilet paper. They give you what they give you, and then you have to supply the rest. Well, hey, I've stocked up at Costco or wherever.
Yeah.
So why would I go and buy separate toilet paper just for here if I could just bring it from my house? So my mom has taught me that she literally would be pack sandwiches and lunch meat and cheese and all this kind of stuff. And I used to be like, lady, you can just eat out. I'm a mom now. I 100% get it because it's wasteful. If you have this stuff at home, you could just bring it with you.
Especially because if you're going for a week, that stuff might not make it. It might spoil in the time that you have been gone. And so it's truly a waste. So no, I definitely get it. My mom used to pack sandwiches. We would even pack sandwiches just for the road, you know? I'll never forget as kids, and it's Dustin laughs at me because I love bologna.
Okay.
I know. But I think it's because I grew up eating it. My mom would just make bologna sandwiches with the tiniest bit of mayo. And she would make a ton of those things that we would just eat in the car. And so, back then they had to, really, we vacation very differently now because, we're a 2-income household, but growing up, we weren't,
Yeah.
And so it was to make it a good vacation and a fun vacation, that was things that they did to conserve money and make sure okay, cool, the money we are spending is being spent on things that actually matter.
Absolutely. And I like that point that you made, how you grew up. The same, I didn't actually fly on an airplane to go somewhere until I went on a school trip somewhere.
Yeah.
So as a family, vacations were always road trips.
Yep.
So then in turn, as the opposite, I was the ultimate trips. So ones where you get on a plane. Families fly for vacation. They don't drive. But some of those memories were the coolest doing the road trips. I remember them as jokes, us fighting about oh, he fell asleep on me or whatever. That kind of stuff. But those road trips, those were the memories. Those were the vacations we got.
Yep.
And, they're no less wonderful than me flying places.
Oh, yeah. I actually didn't fly on an airplane until I went on my honeymoon.
Okay.
I was 20. Got married very young, obviously. But, yeah, I did not fly until we went to Jamaica on our honeymoon. And so it was a big deal. And I think that's maybe part of why we do fly sometimes, because I want Levi to have these really cool experiences, and we're fortunate enough that we can do those things. But probably my best memory on a road trip as a kid, we would drive to Disney, or my parents took us to Disney probably 5 or 6 times, I would say, over the course of our childhood. And my dad would always say, all right, we're getting in the car. And then the moment we would cross over the Florida state line, he would be like, all right, now whoever spots the first orange tree with an orange on it, you're going to get $5 or, whatever it was. And it was so funny because you do at some point pass and see some orange trees depending on the time of year. And that was probably one of my greatest memories from road trips, specifically to Disney, is looking for the orange trees. Did
you guys ever do like this to the have them honk the horn?
Oh yeah, my middle brother, like the moment he would see an 18-wheeler, he's doing the arm thing, and he's like, and a lot of times they would, kids don't do that these days apparently.
I don't know. Now it's like probably like don't acknowledge them. Yeah. I will say one of my favorite ones is, I think it was the first time we ever went to Astroworld in Houston. That was the closest to a theme park I got until I was paying for it. But we went, and the little itty bitty rings in the Coke bottles. I got a ring on it, and I won a life size to me, small person, life size Porky Pig.
Oh my God.
We did not drive an SUV at the time. So Porky Pig literally rode all the way back to Baton Rouge across our laps the whole way home. I mean, this was giant. And I don't mean like soft, squishy, plush animal. Like, he was solid. Like, he could stand up by himself.
Oh my God.
I mean, he was probably like 4.5 feet tall, which was just so amazing to have won this, because they were like, oh, she's not going to win.
And sure enough.
And I did. And so I kept thinking forever. Like, that was like an accomplishment. Yeah. That's one of the best ones, because we got to go to a theme park. We stayed in a nice hotel and all this kind of stuff, and it was so cool. But probably the drive with 3 kids in the back, that probably was trash to me back then. Oh, yeah. But looking back on it, and it's like, I want those type of memories for my kids.
100%. So as we wrap up this episode, we cannot forget about our Strong Mother of the Week award. And I am actually nominating my friend and client, Danielle. Danielle is an incredible mother. She has a special needs daughter named Charlie. And Charlie is just so cute. She's adorable. And she does therapy multiple times a week. And Danielle's always posting. She's got her own Facebook group for Charlie to keep everybody updated. And I love watching her updates. She's made incredible strides for the just disadvantages that she's been kind of dealt. And she's such a strong mom. And I just love her dearly and adore her. So cheers to you, Danielle. You are such a great mom. And I love you and so happy to count you as a friend in my life. And we just had to sprinkle a little love into your life this week.
Yay! So if you guys miss us until next week, you know where to find us at Instagram, Strong Like a Mother Podcast. See you later.
Bye, guys.